Let me see some questions to jog your memory. Actually, well, they're going to be similar to that survey, but so now that you've gone back to your high school Chinese classroom, do you feel more comfortable using Chinese in terms of speaking and then in terms of writing?
And then,
How do you guys
okay,
feel
so
about
if you can
that?
just say your name and just your high school. Okay.
My name is Sabrina Sims, and I go to Lindblom. And yeah, Chinese is becoming like easier for me to speak after STARTALK.
Can you elaborate, like, in terms of speaking, how would you say it's improved?
Like I know how like to use some tones better now. So
How about in terms of writing? Has that gotten any better?
sort of, yeah.
Okay. So next, how about let's have 介绍自己, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Stephanie and or Pengshimi, and I go to LTHS. Do I say what Chinese I'm in?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, I'm in the Chinese 4 AP class, and I think that as far as helping my speak, is it all four or just speaking and reading?
Whatever you want to say.
I think that the STARTALK program helped me in all of the areas. Like, I mean, I'm still really bad at listening, but I'm a lot better than I was before. And also, as for speaking, I think I'm a lot more confident with it now. And I think I'm more confident now in writing and reading the characters. And even if there's a sheet where I don't know all the characters, now I'm not just like, oh, I don't even know it. Now I know that, yeah, I could probably just figure out most of the passage.
Okay.
Or figure out all of them. And one more thing, also, this class helped me in my Spanish class too, for the same reason as improving my confidence and speaking and learning other languages in general.
Wow. 谢谢.
That was all.
What else?
Maybe another thing to add is, do you think you approach learning a language differently now as you start talking? Or like, has like anything you learned from the summer program helped you approach like learning characters or speaking or writing, any of those areas?
My name is Derek Woodard. I come from Kentwood Academy High School, and I'm ahead in my classes because of this program, and I'm one of the best speakers in my class. And even during my lunch period, I like to help students who struggle with it. And I like to do it with enthusiasm because it helps other people learn when, you know, there's energy involved. Like in the Paul STARTALK, there was a lot of energy and interaction, and that's the best way to help people learn. And so that's the way I think students should learn when studying Chinese, and Nepal is the best place to do that.
谢谢谢.
My name is Nicholas Chavez. I go to Lane Tech High School. As far as the program has helped me, I think it's helped me in my oral proficiency, because before the program I was kind of like shy to go in front of the class and give a presentation or just a discussion. I would say like, what if I get it wrong, or would they laugh at me or whatever. And now I have more confidence, not only in my Chinese class, but in my other classes, to go in front of the class, say what I gotta say, do what I gotta do. And I think it has helped me in my class, because some of the stuff that I'm learning in my class, I already seen it in the program. So I'm kind of like a little bit ahead of the others. So I think the Chinese STARTALK program is really good. And if I could, I will come back next year.
谢谢. That's great.
All right, thanks, guys.
Most of them are done. Can we do a quick circle, really? I want them to listen to each other.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, well,
All right, then put them together.
Okay, get up. I know a lot of you are done. Get up. And then do a quick circle. I want you to listen to each other sharing about STARTALK, because some of them have given a very good sharing. I want you to listen. I want to listen. It's why you guys are talking like that. So let's listen to each other. Get up.
Okay,
Yeah, take a circle.
let's just make a circle quickly. It's fine. Okay, just turn your chair around and try to. Okay, Brian, once again. Okay. Can you you go in the center. Go in the center and yeah.
How about just sit in this?
Okay, come on. Okay, go.
All right, well, just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So Derek was just talking about the environment you guys had here in your classrooms, and he said it was very supportive. It was sort of like a synergistic relationship between all your guys' passions in Chinese. Do you guys have any comments on that? And did you guys feel the same way in your own respective classrooms?
So quickly, I mean, so we want to know what's the impact of being in StarTalk and how has it helped you, or just whatever you want to say, and then if you, at the end, if you could maybe just say why should other students consider taking StarTalk courses. Mm-hmm.
Start from you, maybe just a couple of sentences, okay? Make it short.
Both. Yeah. I enjoy the environment because everyone.
介绍自己. Your name and
我叫
high school.
林玉山，我的英文名字是 Emmy Azro，我的高中是 Niles North。I think the environment's good because everyone's really interested in studying Chinese, and so that makes it a better environment to learn in. Because in school, like not everyone really cares that much. They don't really try that hard. You don't always get that much done. But here, everyone wants to know what's going on and wants to learn, and so it's really a different experience. And so people should come to StarTalk because if you're really interested in learning Chinese, you get to meet other people that are interested in it as well. And you just got to get a lot of encouragement and a lot of learning done really fast, which is kind of hard outside of this.
谢谢。
我叫唐杰生，英文名字是 Matthew Ham。我在南泰克 Tech 上学。Yeah, I agree with her. Like the environment's very, everyone's very dedicated in learning Chinese, so it's very supportive and it really improve your Chinese in a quick amount of time. And yeah, people should come to StarTalk to really improve the Chinese because, like, in class, regular school, you can improve your Chinese, but here, it really feels like you can improve it much quicker and learn a lot more in a short amount of time.
谢谢。
我是爱丽丝，我的英文名字是 Alice。我是维尼昂的学生。I like StarTalk because I think that you do a lot more like hands-on learning and it's not as much like lecturing from a teacher. And I think I learn a lot better that way. And I think if you're motivated and want to learn Chinese, you should come to StarTalk and it'll pay off.
谢谢。
我叫 Mason，我是维尼昂的学生。And I think that StarTalk is really interesting because in a classroom you're kind of packed together, at least in my classroom, you're really packed together. There's a lot of distractions from Chinese and it's really hard to get a lot done in one class. But here we have a large amount of time that we can really let ideas sink in and we can really be immersed in Chinese for enough time to really sink in. So we can learn things, we can just learn them more naturally than if we were in a classroom trying to memorize things consciously.
谢谢。
我叫小谢 in DePaul. 我上蓝泰课 which is Lane Tech. I really enjoy StarTalk because my teacher, Miss Chang, was a very good teacher. She was the best Chinese teacher I ever had. She was very fun, but at the same time she does well in teaching and I learned a lot because Zipal, StarTalk, you focus more time in learning Chinese and not only just learning the characters but also interacting with the students and your classmates. Compared to like in school for Lane Tech instance, there's 8 periods. So instead of just focusing on Chinese, your mind is more diverse in other things, which I believe is not, it's more like a distraction because our mind tends to focus on a lot of things, and if we focus more on one thing, I think we learn more. So I think StarTalk is is a good way to help enhance your Chinese, but also in a way to have fun and enjoy yourself over summer and learn something.
谢谢。
我的中文名字是郭可瑞，我的英文名字是 Karen， 我是林龙的学生。StarTalk is like different, like you think of it like 7 hours, but it's really, it goes by really fast because it's so fun. The teachers are really into it, the students are really into it because they really want to be here compared to your regular classroom where teachers spend more time disciplining and getting the students' attention, and here teachers have like the attention of everybody. And also it's not just like the Chinese language, we learn about the culture, arts like calligraphy and crafts and all that. So I think that people should join StarTalk because it's very different and you get to focus on one thing instead of being focused, thinking about like a math test next period or something like that. You get to focus on Chinese here.
谢谢。
我的中文名字是克丽达，我的英文名字是 Tate。我是Woodstock North High 学校。I really like StarTalk because, like they said, you just focus on one class like the entire time. So you're just like completely devoted for that, like to that for an entire month, and that's all that's really on your mind. Like even when you're like on your way home, you just like you're always constantly thinking about the language while you're doing it. And it also gave us like, I know for us, like, it gave us a chance to meet a lot of people that are really different from the people that are in our town. So it gave us a chance to meet a lot of people that we normally wouldn't know, and we're really happy that we did. And so StarTalk is probably one of the most fun summers they've had, I think.
Okay, 谢谢。Okay, I give Christine a chance because she may have to leave soon. Okay.
我的中文名字是佩蒂斯，我的英文名字是 Christine。我是 Naperville North 的学生。The thing I really liked about StarTalk was that it focused on talking, whereas like in a regular classroom, you have to devote like equal amounts of time to like listening, speaking, reading, writing, which are important, but I think the most useful skill you can have besides listening is talking, because if you don't practice talking that much, you can't really communicate well with others. And I really liked that we learned practical, like we had practical application. We went on field trips and we actually practiced our Chinese in a real world setting as opposed to just like practicing in class and skits. Whereas we were actually interacting with native speakers, and that was really helpful, like to get feedback from them. And it was also fun to just like the camaraderie that you get when you study Chinese like with other people for a couple weeks, for a couple hours a day. It's just really fun, and I would recommend other students to try this program because it's fun and you really do learn a lot in a short amount of time.
谢谢。
我叫小天雪，我的英文名字是 Angel。I really liked the whole StarTalk program because I've always really liked learning Chinese, and I've noticed in other classes, you learn it and the teacher is telling you and you're taking notes, but it's a lot more interactive here, and everyone talks to each other in Chinese, and even during lunch or break, like just talking with each other, we try to use Chinese, and it's really fun, opposed to in school everyone's trying to get to their next class, or it's like finally it's done, we could talk in English, and it's like, no, here we really do care about it, and it's fun. And besides that, I've noticed that I've learned way more in the time given at StarTalk about Chinese, the language, culture, just
words themselves than I have like in like yeah, I've learned a lot in high school, but it's never been so efficient that I've learned it so well from all the classroom activities and everything. Like it went from like more at high school memorizing words, and here it was more like learning the language, and I really like that. I would suggest people to come to DePaul for StarTalk, because not only do you learn the language and it's a great experience, but you meet people, teachers, and friends, and it's really sad when you leave, which is probably the reason why we're all back here for the reunion, because we miss it. Yeah.
谢谢。
我叫饶爱迪，我英文名字是 Eduardo Roque. And I like StarTalk program because it's not just schedules and stuff like that. Tests, repeating the whole pattern all over again most of the time. It's diverse. Like you have one thing one day, another thing another day, and you just have fun with all of it. And unlike a classroom like in my school, where we don't really enjoy Chinese class that much because, well, it's kind of nobody cares for it. But here, it's good to have so many people come together for a common goal, and that's to learn Chinese. So, and it's a great place to meet new people that you really would never meet. People from all over the state. So, yeah, I would recommend it for whoever wants to learn any language to come join us.
谢谢。
你好，我叫Tom Cushing，我在 Lions Township High School. Tom Cushing. What I liked about StarTalk was that it really improved your fluency, and you were able to practice speaking with a lot of different native speakers as opposed to just one. And I think it teaches you that there are different dialects and a lot of different accents, because a lot of different teachers come from different places, and so it's interesting to be able to talk with them and get new experiences that way. And it's very hands-on, it's intensive, and it really gives you an advantage. And I would say kids for 2011 should do it just to improve their speaking, improve their fluency, know more, and even just so that you forget a lot if you don't practice your language over the summer. Because a lot of kids in my class, when they heard ni hao, the first day of school, sophomore year, that was the first time they heard it, and they had to work hard even just to get to where they were at the end of last year. So it's good for that too.
我的中文名字是叶清源，我的英文名字是 Kiana. What I really liked about this StarTalk program, this is my third year taking this, and by far I can say this was the best year just because of the people. The personalities are different just from them being all over the state, and I think one thing that people can think about when applying is the diversity, because it's just diversity brings different personalities, which makes it makes the language more fun because you can bring different lives, and it makes learning more fun. And with the culture aspect of the program, I think with the field trips and meeting native speakers, I think that it makes it easier to understand it. And with the speaking, it helps a lot with tones. In school, you stress tones, but the repetition gets boring. So I think with the program, it's not a lot of repetition. It's like you learn it. It's not as stressing. You learn it. You make learning that topic fun, and then you move on. I think repetition in school makes people bored, and they forget a lot. Like over simple breaks, like I guarantee you over these 3-week break, people come back and don't even remember their Chinese name. So it happens a lot. So I would recommend this to anybody of any nationality, race, learn. It's just fun.
谢谢。
我的中文名字是小宝。
StarTalk because it's a really open, nice environment filled with people that share your common interest of learning Chinese. All the activities are hands-on, and we have a lot of personal attention since the classes are so small. And also, I really like the fact that I met people from the suburbs. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have met people from the suburbs. And I would recommend this program because not only do you actually learn about the language and the culture really intensively, but also it gives you an idea of what China is, like how it's playing a role in globalization and how to go green. Yeah.
谢谢。
我的中文名字是柯耀文，我叫 Yasmin, and I really like the Paul StarTalk program because you're in a very productive environment and you're surrounded around people who actually care about Chinese versus school because most people are just there just to fill up a class. And you're guaranteed to learn something new every day. You're not pressured, and it's just fun, and you meet new people. And I think that next year people should come because it's a very great experience. You meet new people, you learn, you actually improve your Chinese.
谢谢。
你好，我的中文名字是康志妮，我的英文名字是 Stephanie Kenny，我在Lions Township High School 学中文。So, StarTalk is awesome. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Pretty much everyone said a lot of awesome things. Everything they said is 100% true, 110% true. You will meet a lot of really cool people. Everyone's really friendly. Everyone really cares about just learning things, learning everything about the language and the culture. And yes, there are field trips. I think we took a field trip once every week, right? And we went to really interesting places, and they did help a lot. There's the teachers training on the side, so there's pretty much always someone to help you, whether it's a teacher that's in your class, your classroom teacher, or whether you guys are in the computer room and the teachers are walking around helping the students, or you can even just go into the teacher's lounge itself and just ask someone for help, and they'll just put aside their conversation and help you. There's no pressures or anything. I don't know, just it's awesome. I recommend it highly. In fact, I wish I could go next year.
谢谢。
Every sem.
我叫 Nick. 我是 Lane Tech Trisha. I really like this program because it's not really like in a classroom where you just study up the book and it gets boring because you just go through a lesson and then another lesson. Right here is really like student on student, kind of like teaching, but at the same time the teacher teaches you. So you learn like stuff that you would actually use in the real world, like when we go up in field trips, we use the stuff that we learn. And at the same time we have like different teachers, not the same one throughout the whole day, so we learn different stuff all throughout the day. And we also have like fun activities. It's not just about like learning Chinese, because in a real class you just spend like the time looking at the clock. What time is this gonna be over? But right here, like the time passes like fast, and the activities, games, just having conversations. So if you want to improve your Chinese or you want to get ahead in your class, you should take Chinese DePaul StarTalk. I really recommend it, and I will come next year if I could.
谢谢。
我的中文名字是山，我的英文名字是 Brent. I recommend the Paul StarTalk program because you like meet different people from all around the city, and you make new friends, and you really like learn how to speak Chinese correctly, and like how to listen to like and to understand stuff.
谢谢。Final word.
我的中文名字是伍德利，我的英文名字是 Derek Woodard。我在 Kenwood Academy 念书。StarTalk at DePaul is just the best place to learn Chinese. It has an excellent atmosphere. You know, you make new friends, and you have so many references so many teachers and helpers, all of Chinese origin, who can help you with just about anything. So it's, compared to school, it's just the best place. It's the perfect example of the perfect environment for a student to learn anything at all. And the primary focus being Chinese, there couldn't be a better place to learn the language. And I do plan on coming again next year. And my goal is to become 100% efficient in speaking Chinese and comprehension.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for your input, guys. I think you guys covered mostly everything I had here, so thanks for being really
And
honest
more.
and promoting the program.
Okay. Great. Thank you. 谢谢.